What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from AnimeUproar with my first Avatar video. I love Avatar and I'm glad to finally be making a video on it. This definitely isn't the first anime channel to cover Avatar, even though it's not technically an anime, but that doesn't really matter if we all love Avatar. So if you do want to keep seeing Avatar videos on this channel, be sure to smash that like button to let me know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or you will miss future Avatar videos. There will be all kinds of spoilers, so you've been warned about that. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. Before we get into the interesting specific bending styles, let me just mention that there are 5 broad bending powers: airbending, waterbending, earthbending, firebending, and energy bending. Then within those categories, there are interesting and more rare sub-bending styles that we'll get into. Not everyone in the Avatar world is a bender, and only the Avatar can bend more than one of these broader categories. In fact, avatars have the potential to learn all of these broader bending styles. And as you probably know already, bending means being able to manipulate the element in question. So let's start with airbending, which is associated with the nation of air nomads. The flying bison, shout out to Appa, were the original airbenders. Airbending is associated with freedom and the season of autumn. Its direct opposite is earthbending. Airbenders tend to be focused on speed and evasion. Airbending allows one to manipulate the wind in order to attack, defend, evade, and even fly. Most airbenders use a glider or special outfits in Legend of Korra to help them fly around, but 2 airbenders in history have been able to fly like Superman without needing gliders or special suits. These 2 were Guru Laghima and Zahir from Legend of Korra. It was said that Guru Laghima spent the last 40 years of his life without ever touching the ground. Like Superman-esque flight, spiritual projection is a specialized airbending technique that can be learned by special airbenders like Janora. This technique makes it possible for a person's spirit to leave its physical body temporarily, allowing them to travel underwater through walls or to hone in on someone who they have a strong spiritual connection to. Notably, we've also seen airbenders travel on top of a ball of wind, use airbending to create a barrier of wind that serves as protection against explosions or poisonous gases, create hurricanes, and bend the air out of someone's lungs. Thus, we could say that we've covered airbending and 2 additional subsets of airbending, including a kind of gravity bending that lets people straight up fly, and a kind of spirit bending that lets a person's soul leave its physical body. Next, let's look at waterbending, which is associated with the water tribe. Its direct opposite is firebending. The original waterbender was not an animal but the moon, which is pretty unique and interesting. Waterbenders are known for being versatile, adaptable, and turning their enemies' power against them. Think of Bruce Lee saying, "Be like water, my friend." Waterbending is known as the element of change, and its corresponding season is winter. Unlike airbenders, waterbenders are more dependent on their environment. Having a huge body of water to work with helps, but skilled waterbenders can also bend water out of the air or out of living things like plants. Waterbenders can also quickly turn water into ice and vice versa. As mentioned, waterbending is associated with the moon, so it is stronger at night and especially during a full moon, but the ability disappears during a lunar eclipse and if the moon spirit dies. The sub-bending skills for waterbenders are healing and bloodbending. Bloodbending is especially interesting since it's like a forbidden jutsu in Naruto. It's been called the darkest, most powerful, and most feared type of bending. It allows humans to control animals and or other humans. By controlling the blood in their bodies, the user can manipulate their victims as if they were puppets. The technique was discovered by waterbender Hama when she was in a Fire Nation prison. Katara helped to outlaw bloodbending, but that did not stop people from using it altogether. Originally, Hama and later Katara needed a full moon in order to bloodbend. However, later on, the criminal Yakone learned to use bloodbending without needing a full moon. Yakone could even render people unconscious through his use of bloodbending, and it took an avatar mode Aang taking his bending powers in order to finally stop him. Still, Yakone managed to escape from prison and had 2 bloodbending sons. Noatak, the older sibling, grew up to become Amon. As Amon, he could use bloodbending to counteract the bloodbending of others and even to take away a person's bending ability permanently. However, the avatar is able to undo this and return the affected person's bending powers. Next up, let's look at earthbending, which is associated with the people of the Earth Kingdom. The original earthbenders were the Badger Moles. Earthbending is known as the element of substance and it's associated with spring. As opposed to airbenders, earthbenders tend to stand their ground. Their style emphasizes strength and fortitude rather than evasion and mobility. Earthbenders have a special connection with the earth and are associated with patiently listening and waiting for the right moment to strike. Just think about how Bumi, the king of Omashu, let himself be captured and waited for the perfect time to strike. He waited until the day of Black Sun for the firebenders to lose their bending abilities and then single-handedly liberated his city in minutes. What's more, he was 112 years old at the time. It just doesn't get more legendary than that. Like waterbenders, earthbenders are pretty reliant on the environment. If there is no earth around, then normal earthbenders are pretty much powerless. That's why people used to use metal prisons to hold earthbenders, but then Toph Beifong managed to learn metal bending, and so metal tends to be replaced by platinum in the Legend of Korra, since no one has been able to bend platinum yet. In addition to metal bending, some special earthbenders can learn lava bending. Lava bending is considered to be even rarer than metal bending. Lava bending allows the user to turn earth into lava and manipulate it at will. Lava benders can also turn lava into earth. Although it is more common in Legend of Korra, lava bending was used long before by the Fire Nation Avatar, who came before Avatar Yang Chen, and then later by Avatar Kyoshi when Chin tried to conquer her peninsula. She used lava bending in order to help split the peninsula from the mainland. To this day, that remains one of the most impressive things I've seen in Avatar. Another subskill of earthbending is seismic sense, which lets the user read vibrations in earth and or metal. This ability lets earthbenders detect people's movements and locations. Toph could even use this ability as a lie detector. Furthermore, as an old lady in the foggy swamp, Toph could use seismic sense to connect to the whole world by using the roots of the Banyan Grove tree. In this way, she can watch over her daughters even from ridiculously far away. The last general element we'll cover before we get into energy bending is firebending. Firebending is associated with the Fire Nation, and it's considered to be the most aggressive style of bending. Dragons were the first firebenders, which makes for a pretty epic origin. Its opposite is water. It's considered to be the element of power, and it's associated with the season of summer. Unlike earthbenders, firebenders can produce their element from thin air. If there's already a fire, they can manipulate the flames, but they don't need a pre-existing fire in order to firebend. Their power corresponds with the sun and is thus strongest at noon and weakest at night. Firebending is not possible during a solar eclipse, while it's greatly amplified when a comet passes close to the Earth. Iroh even mentions during Sozin's comet that only once every 100 years can a firebender experience this much power. He then goes on to Fireflex and is able to straight up firebend a hole into Ba Sing Se's famous wall. Another interesting detail is that Azula's firebending is blue, suggesting that her flames might be hotter than that of other firebenders. Subskills of firebending include lightning bending and combustion bending. Lightning bending lets one generate and or redirect lightning. It is so rare that for many centuries few people even knew that lightning bending was a thing. Nevertheless, there are quite a few characters who've been able to use it throughout the series. Azula, Iroh, Ozai, and Mako in Legend of Korra have all been able to generate lightning. Then there's combustion bending, an OP ability that we've seen from Combustion Man in The Last Airbender and from Peli in Legend of Korra. This ability allows its user to ignite things with their mind. Each of the combustion bending users we've seen have had what looks like a tattooed third eye on their forehead. A kind of beam is released from this third eye, and it causes a powerful explosion when it comes into contact with something. Peli could even curve her beam, allowing her to hit the enemy from difficult angles. The key to beating these overpowered combustion benders is hitting them in the third eye. Once hit, the third eye will fail to work properly for a while, and it could even backfire on the user. And then there's energy bending, which includes bending the energy within human bodies. Aang used energy bending to take away bending powers, and Korra used energy bending to return people's bending powers after they were taken away through the use of bloodbending. And then things get a little more crazy. Korra used energy bending in order to create a giant projection of her spirit that could launch powerful energy blasts. It was this ability that let her beat the Dark Avatar in Season 2. In the final season of Korra, Korra uses energy bending to deflect an extremely powerful beam from Kuvira's spirit cannon, arguably the strongest weapon in Avatar. Lastly, Lastly, the user of energy bending must have a spirit that is unbendable, or else they may be corrupted by another spirit, as Aang almost was when he was trying to take away Ozai's firebending. And that is it for today's video about every bending style ever. Let me know in the comments what your favorite type of bending is and what kind of videos you would like to see next. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button to let me know and share it with fellow Avatar fans. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or you will miss future Avatar videos. Lastly, the YouTube ad rates have significantly dropped recently, so the help and support we're getting from our AnimeUproar patrons is now more important than ever. A very special thank you goes out to our patrons over on Patreon who help us survive these YouTube issues and who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank the legend, acknowledged by Lord Twigo himself, Efren A, and the 1-tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans: Steven Ingrata, Alola Natem, The World, Steelers, Acquire Respect, Pate Hefa, Jonathan King, Desi D, Brandon Aviles, Papa Smurf, The School Bus, King Riser, Emperor Otaku, Richie Martinez, and Thomas Jones. And our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, Anatoly Kazatsky, Angel Cruz, Cricket XP, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Alicia Actor, Jessica Kayla Fawn, Hinokami and Water, Bonnie Park, Zodiar12, Rathuin Deora, Tien Huang, Cynical, Kraken, Fulgus77, and Deadly Saints. Thank you all so much. If you enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/AnimeUproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord where we talk about anime, life, and of course, dank memes. So check out patreon.com/AnimeUproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also now join the YouTube channel and support more content that way if you prefer. Whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.